What would you do if you could decide life and death?
Control over our emotions, acceptance of fate, the pursuit of virtue. These are the pillars of Stoicism. These ancient teachings have guided countless individuals through struggles, tragedies, and moral dilemmas. But what happens when these principles are twisted, influenced by power and unchecked ambition? This is the story of Light Yagami, a brilliant mind corrupted by power, and a cautionary tale of Stoic philosophy gone astray. But then he found the Death Note, a tool of unimaginable power. Fueled by his noble vision of a crime-free world, Light became a vigilante. At first, he approached his mission calmly, with a seemingly stoic acceptance of the sacrifices required. But was it truly stoic virtue, or simply a thirst for control? What would you do if you held the power to reshape the world with one stroke of a pen? Light Yagami, the genius student, once embodied Stoic ideals, control, purpose, and unwavering rationality. But the Death Note, a tool of ultimate power, set him on a path that tested these virtues at their core. But as Kira, Light began to lose sight of the Stoic balance. His obsession with control and his rejection of acceptance led him down a treacherous road. The pressure to maintain his facade and quash his enemies became his undoing.
He who has not restrained his anger will wish undone what his desire has dictated.
Light's initial approach echoes Stoic virtues. He is calm, calculated, and seemingly detached from emotion. He justifies his actions as necessary sacrifices for the greater good. But how does this Stoicism crumble beneath the weight of power? Epictetus teaches that suffering leads to growth and strength, that true control lies in mastering our responses rather than controlling others. Light initially embodies this teaching. He views the Death Note as a tool to right the world's wrong living. His vision transcends personal gain. But as he faces opposition, his stoicism begins to falter. The pursuit of control consumes him. Revenge overtakes acceptance. The very tool that once gave him clarity now binds him to a path of obsession.
Men are disturbed, not by things, but by the principles and notions which they form concerning things.
The tragic fact is that Light lost both the world he sought to change and himself in the process. Light's tragic flaw lies in his inability to balance logic and emotion. Stoicism teaches us to accept the limits of control, but Light's pursuit of a perfect world blinds him to the implications of his actions. His isolation grows, his relationships crumble, and the genius that once raised him above others becomes his prison. How often are we, as individuals, tempted by our ambitions? How often do our initial virtuous intentions warp under the strain of pressure and obsession? Light Yagami's story speaks to the timeless struggle of morality, control, and ambition. It compels us to reflect on the ethical boundaries of power and responsibility. It reminds us of the thin line between righteousness and arrogance. Light Yagami's story resonates with us because it's deeply human. We too wrestle with the allure of control, the trap of unchecked ambition, and the emotional toll of our choices. His tragedy reminds us of the Stoic principles that can guide our lives. Acceptance of life's uncertainties, the pursuit of virtue, and the balance of power with wisdom. Perhaps the most profound lesson is this: no one is immune to the corruption of unchecked ambition. But through introspection, emotional intelligence, and a commitment to understanding others, we can find a better path forward. Modern leaders, entrepreneurs, and even students can learn from Light Yagami's mistakes. True strength lies not in unchecked ambition, but in clarity of thought, emotional intelligence, and resilience through adversity. The story of Light Yagami and the ancient wisdom of Stoicism reminds us to balance ambition with humility, to guide our lives with virtue, not just logic. If this inspired you, subscribe for more explorations where anime meets philosophy. and consider how these lessons apply to your own path. What did Light Yagami's story teach you about the pursuit of control? Comment below and join the discussion. Reflect, grow, and stay curious.